Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a brand new bullet journal set up for you guys, and this one is inspired by the lovely Rupi Kaur. I finally got around to buy her 2 books, and I was always so inspired by her words because I have already read so much about her on the internet. Yeah, and I finally have those 2 books in my collection as well. I was so inspired by the cover art, so I decided to do a little mashup of the 2 covers and create my very own take on it. And I started off by using a pencil and drawing off everything, and then I used some watercolors. And another key piece of this whole setup is the Tombow Fudenosuke brush pen. I know I'm not the best at brush lettering yet, but it's really easy with this pen. I'm much better with this pen than with any other pen, but I still want to practice so much more. And I also use the Micron fine liner for all my black lines. Sometimes I went back to my Muji gel pen, but only for some details. I really like this pen here because it's really fine and it doesn't bleed through that much. And you can also go over it with another pen and it doesn't smudge that much. So this is the finished result for my cover page, but I decided to top it off with a little quote, and to balance it out I also had to put something on top of it. I don't know, sometimes it just looks a little bit unbalanced if you put a quote underneath such a circle or wreath. So I decided on my favorite quote, and it's also my mantra for this month. I will show it to you a little bit later in this video and I will read it to you as well. But for now, let's move on to the proper setup. Besides a cover page and a theme for a month, the most important spread is the monthly overview. And even though the spread is really important because it entails all your details and events and deadlines for the month, most of the time mine are not really glamorous, artistic, or yeah, they just don't take that much time. I also decided to show you my hand lettering process in real time here, so you can see I really take my time. I move the pen really slowly, and for me that really works because this way I have a lot of control. So I also decided to do those gray lines for all the weekdays that are Sunday or Saturday, so I can see at the first glance when it's the weekend and if I shouldn't put a deadline there or something like that. And yeah, I also put the Align a Day spread in there as well. I didn't do this one for quite a while, but it was always super helpful, especially when I kind of fell off the wagon when it comes to journaling. And I definitely did the last couple of weeks. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to get into journaling back again. And maybe I can whip out my diary really soon as well. So next up is my habit tracker. You can see how I write habits here in real time. I think sometimes all those time lapses are kind of misleading. Actually, all this stuff, bullet journaling, calligraphy, and doodling takes so long. And yeah, I think it's kind of encouraging to see that I also take quite some time. And yeah, I really like the way this layout turned out. It's something quite unusual for me because it's quite over propped, and I used a lot of color, and I did some watercolor illustrations and some just regular illustrations with a fine liner, so it's quite out there, but I like it. I really like how I managed to incorporate some just regular things that I like to use for spreads, like the outlines or yeah, the border, because borders are really a key element if you want to amp up a quite minimalistic layout. But I kind of threw everything in there, all the illustrations, all the borders, everything. And in the end it works out. It's not too much, I think, because the color palette is quite muted, so I only have like some gray tones, some yellows for the flowers, and I also have the blue or greenish color for the leaves, but it's not that much in general, so it kind of works out. It's not too much, at least not for me. I mean, everyone is different. And I think you could do a similar layout, maybe only the borders or only the illustration if you think that's too much for you. But I really like how I incorporated the sleep tracker for this one, because most of the time I kind of tend to just switch the layout back to the horizontal regular spread, and I kind of wanted to try to have both trackers in this direction this time, because maybe it encourages me to fill it out more thoroughly and yeah, to just do it every day. But let's see how this goes. I have to be honest, last month I was not really good with filling out all my trackers. So yeah, I'm setting myself the goal to fill it out every day and to show my progress on Instagram. So feel free to follow me there. I'm TEA&CREATE and TEA&TWIGS if you want to see also lifestyle pictures. And yeah, as I already mentioned, borders are one of my favorite little decor pieces because they are super easy and they are also good for minimalistic bougie spreads, but I really like how they make every spread look really polished, very well thought of, and yeah, it's just super easy to do. You can even do it without a ruler, so you can just do it free-handed, and it still looks really nice. Right now I'm just finishing off with all the black details of those flowers that are also inspired by the Rupi Kaur book. And that's the finished habit tracker. And here you can see my finished sleep log. I really like how those two pages go very well together, and yeah, it's just fun to just switch around the direction that you hold your journal from time to time. That honestly just makes it a little bit more fun. And I think I passed my 2-year bullet journal anniversary at some point this year or at the end of last year, and I can't believe it. It almost feels like that I just started doing this like a couple of weeks ago. And I can discover something new almost every day on Pinterest, on Instagram, or on YouTube, or just by trying out different things by myself. I really love how versatile it is and how much you can progress just by yourself. Something that's not really progressing is my weekly log or my weekly spread. I just did a really easy one here. I just did my running to-do list for the week, a notes section, and some goals and some to-dos. As you might know, we had a free day over here, a bank holiday weekend, and so everything was quite chilled and relaxed, and I also had the 1st of April in my last weekly spread. Yeah, and this is why I didn't really want to spend too much time on that for now, and that's it for this setup. Let's have a little flip through. So that's the cover page. You can see my inspiration on the side, and I also have some pictures linked on my blog so you can see the books properly. And I really love the little poem that I also included on this page. I will read it out to you. I try to do it as good as possible. It's from The Sun and Her Flowers. I will no longer compare my path to others. I refuse to do a disservice to my life. I kind of picked this as a mantra for my whole month, and I think it applies to almost everything in life, to bullet journaling, to art in general, to Instagram, to being a content creator, or in any other profession. Sometimes you just look too much on the side, what others are doing, what they are achieving, what you're not achieving, and I just want to concentrate on my own goals for once. And yeah, I'm really excited to see if this change of perspective does anything for me. But now let's get back to my layout. I am really in love with my habit tracker and my sleep log. I really love this new way of setting things up, and I also love the incorporation of color here, and this kind of yellow makes me really happy. I'm not a yellow kind of person, I don't know, it's just not my favorite color, but I really like it, and I really like this shade. I will link my watercolor as well. It's a Japanese watercolor brand, and I kind of mixed the color, but it's still really achievable with the set that I have. And I also like the unusual combination of the greenish or bluish tones that are the leaves here, but I copied that from the Rupi Kaur cover illustration. And yeah, the last but not least spread is my weekly log, and it's super minimalistic. It was super easy to do, and I just didn't want to spend that much time on it, to be honest. And yeah, it will work out in the end. It's not the most important spread for me because it didn't really work the last 2 days. Go me. So that's it. That's The Sun and Her Flowers. It was the main inspiration, the main source of inspiration for this setup. I will link the books down below. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to check out my blog because I always upload so many pictures of the layouts there. Yeah, and see you guys very soon. Bye bye.